This whole situation is like a hyper meta burrito of influence that's just kind of coming apart at the seams.
That's it. That's my intro.
Hi, I'm Amanda. You're watching Swell Entertainment, and yes, I am back in my old bedroom. But today we are talking about the brand trip. Because I have a lot of feelings on this one. What I think they wanted to happen, what did actually happen, and what I think this means for the influencer economy and the creator economy as a whole, as well as influencer marketing as a whole. 3 days ago at the time of recording this, the luggage company Away posted a TikTok with the title, "We invited social media managers from other brands on an outdoor escape, and here's how it went." And there's 3 people tagged: Getaway House, Shake Shack, and Say Beauty. Caption says, "Join us next time at Duolingo." And it was all social media managers from these different companies. Now, the video is cute, I would say. You know, they go on like a little trip. They're just carrying luggage through the forest. Shake Shack brought burgers for everyone. Say Beauty kept giving out like SPF and like lip products and things like that. According to Getaway House, it's escape to a tiny cabin nestled in nature. So they're the ones that like, technically it's their getaway. So I would say that maybe this is Getaway House's social media thing. The whole point is that this is a collaborative effort between all of these brands for what is essentially a brand trip. Okay. Now, what is a brand trip? You've seen these over the years from influencers. Usually they're in a tropical location sponsored by one brand. Okay. Often makeup brands. It's not usually travel companies, but they can be. But usually it's makeup brands partnering with a specific resort or a hotel chain or whatever to fly out a handful of influencers and maybe plus ones to a location to give them products, hints at new products, shoot content for the brand, have the influencer shoot content on their own. And it's just a way for the brands to kind of get the most bang for their buck. For years, this really was a worthwhile investment for brands. Why spend $40,000 on one commercial when you can spend $40,000 ish to send 3 or 5 influencers to a tropical location, give them some great experiences to take content, have obligation content that you have already set up with them. Then you get content, they get content. You're kind of maximizing the amount of advertising that you're getting from them. You're maximizing the amount of advertising you're getting from one trip. And if you play your cards right, you can get enough content for a whole season worth of ads from this one trip. Brand trips are kind of like advanced level influencer marketing, honestly, because not only are you selling products via influencers, you're also kind of selling this ideal lifestyle of influencers in collaboration with your products to their audiences. For years, it was not uncommon for people to look at these brand trips and be like, oh my God, I want to go on that brand trip. I want to do this next time. And trying to find ways to get the brand's attention to go on these trips. And in doing so, they would buy the products and tag the products for the hopes that next time this influencer with 1,000 followers would be chosen to go on this tropical vacation with Too Faced Cosmetics or whatever it is. For years, this worked really well for people. And then we had Dote. How do I describe Dote? You may have heard of Dote for years because of Emma Chamberlain. She was one of their main girly pops. If I remember correctly, Dote's whole thing was that it was an app that you could basically shop from a bunch of different companies at one time. And then when you checked out of your cart, you could check out from all these different companies at one time. And it was kind of like shopping for your whole wardrobe without having to go through different websites online. In a sense, I thought it was an interesting concept, but I just never really understood their marketing strategy. But Dote did a ton of work with influencers. They pretty much had a specific collaboration, it seemed like, with the photographer Bryant. The Dote girls were like the it girls of social media for a time, okay? And Dote kind of sold this mentality that even if you didn't have a bajillion followers, you could still be invited on some of these brand trips by, say, growing your following on Dote itself, because influencers could make their own pages of like, this is what I'm shopping, shop my closet. This was Emma pre-Louis Vuitton collaboration. So she was almost exclusively wearing, I think, Brandy Melville. So her entire Dote page was like Brandy Melville. It was kind of funny. So we have a couple of different videos when I type in Dote exposed. One is from Stargazing. Dote white girls being privileged wished for 3 minutes straight. A lot of the dote girls were incredibly white, okay? And I say that as a white girl. But there was a couple of girls of color of the dote group, basically, who posted videos talking about their experience with a dote brand trip they went on. I believe it was the Coachella trip, Dotechella, if you will, but I can't be certain. But it was kind of exposed through this whole process that the girls of color were treated as second-rate citizens, basically, like put in a smaller room altogether, whereas all the white girls got, better rooms up top. They were all giving a lot more space, a lot more opportunities. The photos as well, they were like not included in the photos. And so Dote itself basically disintegrated from this whole controversy. No one felt comfortable using the app anymore. Emma Chamberlain distanced herself from them. A bunch of the other girls distanced themselves from Dote, obviously, and it just kind of fell off. I think that was around the time where influencer trips were really shown to be just kind of a bit of a mess. And then more so, this came off later as well. One of the exposed episodes, okay, listen, don't give Shane Dawson your views. But, okay, there was an episode that he posted after The World of Jeffree Star or something where Morgan had just come back from a brand trip and was miserable and was crying. Morgan was basically just talking about how she had had a terrible time on this brand trip, that she was alone the entire time. There was a 30% rule, apparently, for the other influencers that were there, that they would not do content with you unless you were 30% below them or 30% above them in followers. That way you wouldn't overshadow them, but you also could potentially help them get more followers if you're 30% above, basically. Insane. And she was talking about how they were trying to make her go on another brand trip and all this stuff, and then Jeffree Star was involved, being like, well, they can't make you go anywhere, for one. Like, that if there's a contract, she can get out of that. They can't force you to go anywhere. And then obviously lockdown happens. Any brand trips that weren't canceled were very quickly shamed, like, oh, we already paid the money. Lock the down. Brand trips slowly started up again. I don't remember seeing any in 2021, but in 2022, I started seeing a couple of brand trips here and there. Specifically during the summer, everyone was in Europe, and I know not every single one of you was paying for that yourselves. I don't know how many of these brand trips were people who like kind of kept it quiet that they were with brand trips, or if the brands were like, hey, let's keep it a little hush hush, maybe. Like, promote these products, you get everything for free, but like don't tell them that you're like here with the brand. Like, just make it sound like you're like it's a sponsored product review, basically, in a sense, which if they're disclosing that they're getting some form of compensation for it, then it's technically not going to violate the FTC guidelines. But you do have to disclose gifted products, for the record, if you're watching this. The last one that I really heard of was a company. I commented on TikTok. I didn't see the original video, but a company sent a bunch of influencers to Aspen, like right before Thanksgiving, for promotion, I believe. And it's like, what are we doing? Ever since the pandemic, I would say that the public opinion pretty much completely nosedived, okay? It's no longer aspirational. It's very much, why are we doing this? We've seen these people before. Why are they getting more free things? When they get free things, the moment they get home, they're going to do a PR unboxing haul of all the stuff that they were sent. Oh yeah. Should I make a note really quick? Because someone's going to be like, you're just jealous because you don't go on brand trips. No one wants me. I'm annoying and an asshole. And I'll be honest, I talk about the events I pay for. You think I won't talk about one that I got for free? That's why they don't want me. It's the same reason I don't often get sent free products. They don't want to run the risk. I make good money. I don't mind paying for things. But my point still stands. Brand trips used to work because buyers, customers, the consumer thought that buying these products that these influencers were using on these brand trips would somehow, in a sense, get them on these brand trips, or because they liked this influencer and all of that. However, overt wealth for a majority of customer bases right now is not really seen as relatable, for lack of a better word. Like, if you look at the Kardashians, they're very quickly losing public favor, I would say, because they're just boring. You know, at a certain point, it's no longer aspirational. It's just mundane. And that sounds crazy to think that this insane amount of wealth is mundane, but it's like, cool, you have all this money and you're wearing beige all the time. Like, what? None of the products they're coming out with are innovative. Their arguments are still the same. It's like, cool, you just have more money and you still are like boring. What's going on? Be crazy. Make a rocket to space. Oh wait, no, that sounds like I'm promoting Elon Musk. Fuck Elon, by the way. Remember, first and foremost, this is an anti-billionaire account. Brand trips are no longer the good investment that they once were, because the consumer base is no longer awed by these trips, for the most part. They're seen as tone deaf, especially after a global pandemic where people lost their homes, their lives, and all of their savings from losing their job. Then let's say you have a bunch of social media managers who are like, okay, but there was something here. At one point in time, this worked. So how can we tweak this? How can we tweak this? So away luggage is the one that got the most views and was the most popular. That's the one that I saw for the most part. But some of the other accounts, for example, Getaway House, there's 3 videos where it looks like this is all part of the same brand deal. They got 843 views, 736, and 766. Yeah, so this is all part of the same thing because they all tagged the same companies. Carving out more free time to unplug can be hard as a social media manager. That's why we partnered with a way to send social media managers from Getaway House, Away, Shake Shack, and Say to unplug in nature. Here's what we got up to. So on Getaway House, all of the comment sections are from Shake Shack, Away, Say Beauty. You escape to nature with Getaway's social media manager. And then again, tagging each other. All the comments, Say Beauty, Shake Shack, and then Fable Pets. I thought Getaway was dog friendly. We designed gear that solves purposes. So here, start of the problem I'm going to point out. And then this one as well. 3 comments, I bet. Just one from Say Beauty, but the other companies are tagged. Let's check Shake Shack. 95K followers on there, by the way. POV, you're a social media manager at Shake Shack and need to make sure everyone is well fed wherever you go. Why did you tag Say Beauty? Huh? Shake Shack? Is there drama? Was there drama on the brand trip, Shake Shack? Drop the exposed video. Shake Shack posted 2 videos from this brand trip, okay? And Say Beauty is not tagged in any of them, but they're tagged in the others. Is there drama? Is there drama? They didn't comment on the videos either. Shake Shack, Say Beauty, drop the exposed video. Let's go. Where's the story time? Come on. You want to play this game? You got to play by the rules. Wait a minute. Did Say Beauty not post theirs? Ooh, there is drama. When the bouncer, TSA agent, asked to see what's in your luggage. What? You didn't want the whole routine? Away fits all Say Beauty luggage check. Something happened on this little brand trip? Or have you just not posted yet? Because if that's the case, then your social media manager needs to be, sorted. A couple of different things. Because I'm sure obviously this was like weeks in the process. They probably didn't actually go on a brand trip. It was probably just like a 12-hour shoot or something, if even that, to get content for all their respective social media pages. That being said, this is interesting to me because my guess is that all of these social media managers, because you work as a social media manager, some of you saw this as your opportunity to go from bachelor contestant to bachelorette. I'm sure at least one of you was like, I can be the main character of this little ad, this little collaboration. And then that'll either get me more followers on our brand account or will get me more followers on my personal accounts. Closing the loop from brand to influencer pipeline by just blasting one of these people into temporary stardom for 15 minutes because it never lasts. It just doesn't, it just doesn't. They get sick of you eventually. It just does. I'm sure half of you are sick of me. But the problem is with this brand trip as well is obviously the goal is like, look how fun and quirky we are. Look how this social media manager can do this and they can do this and they brought us this. Look how cool these products are. Look how much fun we're all having on our little brand trip. And we're not going to talk about the fact that Say Beauty has barely posted anything and Shake Shack has not tagged them in anything. That makes me think that something happened. I want to know. I'm too nosy for this. I need to know. One of you needs to post a story time or I'm writing fan fiction about what happened. And that's a threat. Will it be enemies to lovers? You'll have to tune in and find out. My guess is that they thought that users would be like, oh, wow, like the away luggage is actually working through the forest floor pretty well. Getaway House sounds like a cool thing. Say Beauty, looking good as always. Shake Shack, delicious, sounds great. So I'm sure they were hoping that the comment sections would be full of, potential customers or returning customers. Or even, hey, maybe influencers being like, I want to come on the next trip to take content with you guys. I don't know. Who knows what their goal was? But I think with the tagging of Duolingo, it kind of set a precedent because the comment section is just full of blue checks. It's full of other brands asking when they can come on the next trip. This comment section is like the 9th circle of hell of influencer economy and capitalism. It's just a mess and a half. We've got United, we got Teva, we've got Fiverr Crates, we've got Brio Geo, we've got Drink AG1, Drumstick, GoPro, Alltrails, Zappos, Calm, Bubble, Amazon Home, Roxy Official, Klarna, Say Beauty back, obviously, finally, Kettle and Fire, Shake Shack back, C4 Energy, Bush Beans, Camping and No Beans. It's just brands marketing to brands at this point. It's kind of like, okay, were you on Tumblr? Do you remember the plague that was the Denny's Tumblr account? To this day, I used to think that it was just a parody account that was just fucking with all of us on Tumblr, okay? Because that's how we would know that a meme died on Tumblr, was when the Denny's account made it about themselves, okay? And that feels like this is what's happening here. These are brands marketing to brands, and I think in a sense they think that it's going to do well with the customer base, but it's showing a lack of understanding of what customers want. Just show us how things work. Tell us why we should buy your luggage over the other bajillion luggage companies. Show us why your luggage is not going to make me throw my back out when I try to put it into the overhead bin. Show me that it's not going to fall apart the moment it goes through the luggage terminal and gets thrown down a little too hard down the little conveyor belt thingy. Okay, mine busted right open like it was like it was trying to be a centerfold. Okay. The joke didn't work. I waited too long. I got too awkward. The joke didn't work. Anyways, you know how people love those videos where it's like, oh, I asked my manufacturer to send me a demo of how durable the product is. It's like literally 3 or 4 people taking the products and beating the shit out of them onto the ground to show how durable they are. That's what people want. Show us durability. Show us versatility. Show us how to properly use items. Like, just show us a demo. It doesn't need to be this flowery, oh, look how pretty everyone is and all this stuff. Just show us how things work and why it's worth our money. Because this, you're selling, again, an ideal, but you're not selling it to the right people. Your comment section is an example of that. Getaway House. I had no idea what you were. You're in this video. I did not know what you are. Apparently you are a getaway travel home. Cool. Why is it cool? You know, like, show us why it's cool. Show us how you're different from Airbnb, Vrbo, and all these other companies that are like gonna get me robbed in the middle of the night. You know, like, show us how you're different. Show us your location. Show us your grounds. Like, look how beautiful this is. How cool is this? Like, do that. Shake Shack, your food. Literally, guys, we have new products. Here you go. That. Bush Beans. I don't know why you're still doing this. Certain companies, I don't get why they're trying to get involved in influencer marketing, because some of them, it's like, I don't think you will benefit from it. You know, like, if I did a Bush Beans advertisement tomorrow, would you care? I'm talking to my audience specifically. Would you guys actually care? Would you just be like, holy fucking man, I got a Bush Beans ad. Fuck yeah. I think you would be more proud of me than like, cool, we need to support Bush Beans now, you know? Like, it's like there's an interesting line to walk with these brands, and these brands I don't think are understanding what specifically Gen Z wants. And I know it's because the trend cycle and all of that happens so quickly that you're having a hard time catching up, but so many of these social media managers are Gen Z. So I mean, if they have to know. They have to know, unless they think they know better, which I don't think is the case here. I don't even know if there was a time when this would have worked, honestly. Like, brands selling to essentially other brands to go on this brand trip for social media managers. It's like, okay, cool. Social media managers are all advertising to themselves because this is their bachelor, you know? Like, that's what this feels like. And so far, I haven't seen any comments that are like, oh, I want to go try out that burger at Shake Shack. That burger looked really good. Or, wow, Getaway House, I wonder what availability they have next, you know? I assume your goal was to, you know, use each other to get more. You basically did a 2016 YouTube collab. Oh my God, we've gone full circle. We are back in the 9th circle of hell. Oh my God, we went up, we went down. Do you guys remember those 2014, 2016 YouTube collaborations? It's why I don't really do collaborations, because I think they're incredibly uncomfortable. They're awkward. I think you can tell that the moment the recording is not happening, the moment that red light turns off, they are not friends anymore once that camera is not recording. Okay, I think that's very common in these videos. And now the fact that Say Beauty and Shake Shack are not tagging each other and Say Beauty's barely posting makes me think the same thing happens here. It's just like, it's commercialized cringe. Oh my God, it's commercialized cringe. Stop. Seriously, enough. I don't want to see more of these ads. These are cringe. Stop it. Okay. I get what you were trying to do, but I don't think you got what you wanted to get. Okay. I feel like I'm going to have an anxiety attack all of a sudden. Cut the funding. Okay. Just tell us why your luggage is good. Tell us why your beans are the best. Tell us why they're called Bush's beans. I don't know. I think that the selling the ideal of the product, like selling the lifestyle around a product, is not so much the best tactic anymore, especially with the fact that we are in or are about to go into a recession. You got to show people why their dollars are best spent with you. Because that is a decision people are going to be making if they're not already making, if they have not been making it their entire lives or during the pandemic or pre-pandemic. People don't have that disposable income anymore. We saw that with Cyber Monday and we saw that with Black Friday. Okay, people are genuinely pissed that consumers can just go and flock to 15% off at Black Friday. I'm not going to fight someone over a TV for 15% off, okay? No. I'm an adult. I want at least 60% off before I start throwing hands. What you need to do is show why you are the product that they should be buying versus every other one. Things like that are durability, versatility, quality, flavor, taste, lasting product, how it turns out product, how easy it is to go on. I'm sorry, I'm like merging all these different companies together. Why is your getaway the best getaway versus this one bedroom in a, Beverly Hills mansion side thingy on Airbnb? I don't know. Tell me why. That's what people want. They just want, don't sell me a gimmick. Don't sell me an ideal. Just tell me why I should pick you, basically. This isn't The Bachelor. This is a job interview, like that's where I think we're at with consumerism in general right now. This was kind of mostly a stupid video. I just saw this video and was like, bad place. So I wanted to talk about it. Did you see this Away video? What do you think happened between Say Beauty and I feel like I'm saying it wrong. Am I saying Say Beauty wrong? Let me know, comment down below. But what do you think happened between Say Beauty and Shake Shack? Do you think that these social media managers will be doing more brand trips? Do you think Bush Beans will ever be invited on a brand trip? Let me know. Comment down below. Reminder, I have a podcast, the Swell Shenanigans Podcast. I promise it's coming back. Reminder, I have merch. I'm making the transition from Teespring to Fourth Wall. Teespring is still linked. Fourth Wall is linked. Shout out to my patrons. Thank you so much for supporting me on Patreon. If you'd also support my Patreon, let me listen down below. Like to follow me on social media. That'll be all up here. And that's going to be it. Have a lovely day. Goodbye. I want to know what the money situation looked like, because who picked what brands? Was this like, are you all owned by the same parent company? Because no offense to Getaway House, but like if you really wanted to sell an ideal, why not pick something that had sidewalks so that Away could show how easy their luggage rolls, especially since Away, this was your whole idea, it seems like, because you're the main name around this. This just seems like a failing on your part for that. Thank you, Alan, Cameron, Christopher, Chris P, Crash PC, China, Dirty One, Don, Elliot, Evan, Eric, Eal, Hopeless Incognito, Isaiah, Jack Array, James, Joe, John M, Jordan, Joseph, Kenny, Kim, Kristen, Lamb, Lexley, Luis, Matt, O, Matthew S, Meme Lord, Michael J, Micah, Nathan, Nathaniel, Pat, Penn, Richard, Rob, Red, Robert, Ross, Sam, Serena, Ryan, Sierra, Skylar, Simon, Tasha, Timothy, Heavenly, Plastic, Tom, Qwerty, Randy, Winter, Wendry, William, Zendry, Wink.